Hey folks, this is Mark Henry. I am doing a YouTube live. I wasn't expecting to. This is kind of an impromptu video, but I like to do these once in a while to review previous videos in between these live streams and to talk about various topics regarding the occult and the paranormal. So, may wait a few minutes, maybe a few seconds, depending on how many people show up. Okay, well, I hope that everybody is having a good weekend. If you are in a lot of parts of the United States, you may be experiencing extreme weather, so please be safe. Alrighty. So, let me go and start by reminding everybody that if you are one of my attunement students, of course, we have the attunement Facebook group that you can become a part of. I've been recently putting in quite a bit of attunements. I put in mystical love, which is for people who want to have that connection with cosmic love or connect with the love within themselves, for themselves, help to develop more self love, perhaps even get more love from others, because when we love ourselves, then that kind of is able to help us love other people. So it's a transfer of energy. Also, mystical knowledge. I just put that one in. And that one is about making sure that the energy between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind is flowing so that you are better able to use the resources that are within your mind, within your brain, in order to make wise decisions, profitable decisions, think about things more clearly, maybe more objectively. So those are two good ones that I have. Also have Balaam. So he is the goetic demon, I think the 17th goetic spirit, and he is good for discovering the secrets that people have, especially regarding you. Sometimes they'll come out when you work with Balaam, and it'll come out in a conversation. Also, he's good for helping you understand the emotions of others. If that's not something you're really tuned into that much, sometimes we are wondering, why do they think that way? Why do they feel that way? And so that Balaam could be an ally in that regard. He's also good with when you need courage for a specific context, for a specific situation, giving you that bit of assertiveness. So in any case, if you're wanting to know what attunements are, it's basically a way to connect with an energy, with a spirit, in order to, and when you're attuned to it, you can channel that energy directly without necessarily even working with that particular spirit, because it's more, you have now an indirect relationship, so you can kind of cast magic that way. It's just another way to do things, and it doesn't require any ritual items like candles, incense, oils, brews, stews, or anything like that. So, any case, that wasn't what I wanted to talk about in this video. So let's get on to other things. All right. So what I wanted to talk about is kind of how to review a little bit about kind of the videos that I've been doing. One, and I just kind of, well, I didn't yet, but in a previous video, I did mention Bottis. Bottis was probably 3 or 4 videos ago. Bottis is also a goetic spirit like Balaam, and he is, I believe he's a president of spirits. He is very good for a lot of different things. So review that video. That was kind of a short video. The next video was the Shem angels. The Shem angels are the 72 angels of the ineffable name, the indescribable name of God. And these 72 angels have and can be used for ritual workings, for magic workings. They all have their individual powers, abilities, and you can use them. I have a book on angel magic which talks a lot about this. I think it's called 72 Angels of Magic. Damon Brand has maybe two or three, I want to say, of these books about the Shem angels. Something funny, I was looking at some of my comments on some of my videos, and someone mentioned that they liked working with these Shemp angels with a P. And I said, well, actually, it's the Shem angels. I don't want anybody to make fun of you because, you know, the Shemp angels, it has nothing to do with the Three Stooges. Um, so if I do a review of the Three Stooges tarot, then of course I will make that. Maybe they have a Shemp angel in there. Probably Curly would be like the fool. That would be kind of a funny. That would be a funny tarot. At least it would be lighthearted. But anyway, the Shem angels. There's 72 of them, and they are connected to the 72 of the Goetic spirits. In fact, in the tarot that I was reviewing, the Occult tarot, the 72. Hey, greetings from Atlantic City. Well, greetings from Louisiana. So much farther south. I haven't been to Atlantic City, but I'm sure it's fun. So in that particular tarot, the Goetic spirit, each of the 72 are connected to a Shem angel. And that is almost like a supervisor. So you would want, well, some people with their magic, that they prefer the safety and comfort of having an angel there to restrain and supervise the Goetic spirit so that nothing potentially goes wrong. Hey, New York. Nice to see you. Glad y'all can be here. I'm glad we have people coming into this live chat. It makes it much more fun. So, one for one, and I think that works out nicely. Now, of course, I've mentioned this before, that not all occultists, especially ones that work with Goetic spirits or demons, prefer this. Different philosophy. They might say something like, well, you know, if you can work with them directly, and by doing that, it shows that you trust them. Australia. Cool. Shows that you trust them and that they trust you and they would work with you. And you just have to know what you're getting, you know. Some Goetic spirits and some demons, of course, have this reputation for being a little mischievous, maybe a little unwieldy, and that is one of the reasons why people like to work with the angels to do that. And some of the older grimoires, especially ones like in the 17th, 16th century, actually set that up. Yeah, the Shem angels. So they are they're cool to work with. And I have one of them in the attunement store, Poiel, Poiel. So you can check them out. I'll put a link in the description. Next video was the genius spirits. And I talked a little bit about how they're neither genie in the lamp type of genie, and they are not the jinn. They are another class of beings. They were mentioned in the Noctemiron, which I want to say maybe 17th century. It's discovered, then translated into English by an occultist. And then later on, fast forward to the 70s, then you have Jeffrey Gray Cobb with his books that talked a little bit about the various genius spirits. And now in modern days, we have Damon Brand is becoming popular for talking about the genius spirits and things like master protection, or magical protection, excuse me. and Magical Riches and Magical Cash Book, which is about the most popular genius spirit, which is Nitika. Nitika is popular because he is known, or sometimes she, depending on how it's perceived. And when you read this, don't get confused, because when we're talking about the spirit world and demons and things, they're they really are genderless. Maybe even I don't know, maybe gender fluid. So don't get too wrapped up in someone's in a magical form saying, well, refer to as he and you thought it was a she or vice versa. It is an individual power, and when we're dealing with something on the spirit level, it really doesn't matter. Hey, how are you? Very cool. And even after Damon Brand did those books, the last good one that I yeah, good to know, Adam. The last one that I read was 84 Genies of Power, because what the Noctameron said was that at the beginning of creation, 12 hours were the most important, and there were seven spirits assigned, seven of these genius spirits assigned to each hour, so that when 12 were up, that's 84 genius spirits. And the very last video that I did before this particular video, do you know of anyone who's specific types? So can you explain which spirit and the whole scenario? That's a very specific question. Nothing comes to mind right now. I would think that there are spirits like Bune, which is good for business and business plans. Six-figure incomes is a good chunk of change, and it seems like it would take, especially like a business, very systematic and several different interventions to make that happen. So I don't. Nothing comes to mind as far as a friend or someone who has done that. Sometimes they keep those things to themselves, but I would definitely start with a spirit that, since that could take time to develop that six-figure income, someone who's willing to do long-term prosperity work, you know? 84 Genies of Power. So that is by Tristan Whitespire. Yeah, he's a great author. Tristan Whitespire, who was inspired by the Gallery of Magic and Damon Brand. And so if you get his book, it's very much reminiscent. It kind of runs in a similar way. There is a sigil, there is Hebrew, circle, and you have to look this way and circle that way and scan this and say these chants. And when you go through it, it's maybe a 6-7 part process. So as far as my magic is concerned, I would consider myself more in the realm of sorcery. So I try to do practical things that would benefit me and my friends and loved ones. So I do financial magic. Uh, I'm good as far as the love life and stuff is concerned, so I don't have to do much of that. I do like to try different things, so I will connect with maybe Christian sorcery, like maybe Saint Cyprian. Do that. I like working with Jupiter for financial magic. I work with the Gallery of Magic books. So I have a lot of different interests. A magician for hire. No, not at this time. There was a short period of time when my Patreon first started, and I was doing it for somebody, and it worked out okay. But I've gotten away from that. There are too many things when you're working with somebody and with magic that some people, it's not realistic for certain outcomes for them, and then they get mad and those sort of things. It's very sticky type of thing to work with people in that way. So I don't tend to do that, at least not at this time. So the occult tarot. So 78 cards, just like the Rider-Waite. So the 72 of the Goetic spirits, and there were 6 that are people like, or spirits like Lucifer, Moloch, and some of the other ones. And I reviewed those. On the cards, they have the sigil, they have the astrological sigil, they have the name, they have, I believe, the astrological correspondence, if I'm not mistaken. So if you are interested in that, check that out. You could learn, one of the things that's good about those types of things is that you can learn about them. Even if you don't want to do divination, fortune telling, you can learn a little bit about this particular spirits by looking at the cards, almost like flashcards in school. So I kind of enjoy learning in that way. Tarot cards and oracle cards and things, when they're on specific subjects, it's kind of a neat way to learn because you can just involve yourself and get all of the basics and essential information in there of a particular subject, and you can try to work it rather than trying to buy 6-8 books, which can be cost prohibitive. Yes, I have videos on Saint Expedite. I have a Saint Expedite attunement in my store. I know about Saint Expedite, and I have astral traveled before, and that's a wild experience. It's this weird place where your imagination and the spirit world meet, and it's quite something. Okay, as far as the topic of today, something I wanted to discuss, and I've mentioned it briefly in other videos, but it seems like it's something that I can't get off of. I got to keep preaching about it. I have to keep getting on my soapbox about it. And it is about that I see some people, and a lot of it, especially with novices, is that I like to remind people that when you're doing magic and even when you're working with spirits, that you cannot make changes in your environment and in your world without changing yourself first. And I don't mean this in a self-help way. I mean that when you are working with entities and you're casting magic, let's say financial magic, if you don't have the inner beliefs and the correct inner beliefs and the values to support that, then there's going to be tension within you. Because if I tell people that if you had all the right beliefs and values and the correct actions, you knew what to do, then you wouldn't need the magic. So what's happening is the magic is going out and it's trying to manifest, but it has to change you too, so that the inner you and the outer world matches in a correspondence and a resonance. So, and I've experienced this before, if you are doing financial magic and you find yourself getting tense or find yourself getting stressed, that is likely you're not going crazy. It's probably that your magic is working its kind to try to drag you along in this direction. In fact, I had a student who was doing just that. He was doing financial magic and he needed more money. However, he had the value and I guess the life situation where he really liked to take life slow and easy and be stress-free. And when he did the magic, all of a sudden he started to get busy. I wonder why, because a lot of times, financial magic and creating finances takes a little bit of work, a little bit of effort. It takes concentration, and this was not something that he was used to. And it took him by surprise, so he started to get kind of stressed out. Now, now he's in a kind of a quandary. Does he live like a hermit? Does he kind of separate himself out from this and say, okay, well, I'm not going to try anymore to be financially prosperous. I'm going to just be poor, and I'll be stress free. Well, I guess that's one choice. But there's also another choice, and this is the main reason. This is the two values that I think that make magic beneficial, is that magic will help you learn and it'll help you grow if you allow it. Now, this person, if they were serious about, is there a way to adjust to, I'm not sure if I understood, to not manifest chaos or to manifest chaos? Or this is what he can do. He can say, okay, this is a choice he could make. I made a commitment. I had a goal to make more money. So now, instead of saying, okay, that's not me, I could just kind of go with the flow. I could go through the motions and just see what happens. What would probably happen is that, yes, you are absolutely correct. If he was just kind of still and allowed his spirit to go along with the whole process, because it's not malevolent, it's not trying to hurt him, it's trying to help him. If he went along with the process, he would adjust and he would grow so that he would better be able to tolerate the new activity, the busyness. In fact, he probably would begin to enjoy it, maybe even like it, and then it would no longer be a problem. Carl Jung said, the great psychologist, that we don't solve problems, we just outgrow them. And I think that, yes, that would be something if he wanted to press forward, because, maybe, really he did need the money, need to pay his bills, and that's not a bad thing, right? We all want electricity and to pay for our car and all those types of things. So he can kind of go with the process, maybe gain a little more self-confidence that he can do it, and that would be a better situation, rather than, because sometimes for people this is kind of a pattern, kind of move away from stress and move away from pain, and sometimes that these experiences just help us become better people, help us move towards our potential. So it's not really anything to be afraid of. These are more challenges. Yes, there is magic that can help you with anxiety. I've seen magical patterns for help you sleep, which is always good. Depression, things like that. So if he wanted to focus, if the stress was getting to the point where he was having trouble focusing, he could go and maybe work with Mercury, which is good for concentration and speed of mind. And it would definitely help him get used to a little bit of busyness, because that is what Mercury's about, a touch of chaos. So when you become a little bit of the touch of chaos, maybe he would acclimate a little bit better. So there's a lot of different ways to deal with that. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Well, thank you for being here and listening, GK. Yes. Please, guys, if you're curious about magic and you enjoy magic and working with spirits and attunements and all of this, don't give up when it gets hard. Sometimes magic will bring things out of us to help us grow and to help reach our potential. And again, we need to kind of change in a way in order to be the type of person that can accept and receive what we want that we don't have. Love magic, for example. I've seen where any spirits I'm afraid to work with. I met Belial one time, and he was rather frightening. But it depends on where I am and what I'm doing. I I take really intense spirits in small doses, and he is one of those. Love magic. So when someone, let's say, are trying to find that partner, trying to find at least a meaningful relationship, and they're working with that, don't be surprised if one of the things that was, let's say, getting in your way without magic was problems with low self-esteem, low self-confidence, because with that magic, you may find that magic coming in direct contact with those parts of you that are, let's say, lack of a better word, weaker. And it's maybe trying to break you free of that. So I've known people who their self-confidence maybe even got a little worse in a way. At least they were feeling it more. And that's because it was in a way trying to heal it, because it's hard to connect with people in relationships when you feel really bad about yourself, right? You may have thoughts that, okay, that person doesn't like me, or I'm not a lovable person, and that sort of thing. And that energy, that vibe kind of rubs off on people, and they may not give you the attention that you want in that way. Yes, it would be like if you have something wrong with you and the surgeon tried to cut it out, if you didn't have anesthetic, it would hurt, right? Now the surgeon's trying to help you and can remove a tumor or whatever cancer, but it would hurt more than maybe even what was causing you the problem. I missed that message. Couldn't quite see it flashed on my screen, but that's okay. So yes, sometimes when that pain comes up from out of nowhere, it can be a sign that how can it be worked out? Uh, how can something how what can be worked out? How the pain can be worked out, how the love spell can be worked out. There are a lot of books out there that you can kind of work with, but it's not hard to do it. You just have to kind of be clear on what you want. Some people do love magic where they cast kind of a wide net. I've done work that would give me more attention in that regard, but I've never done any spells in order to specifically at anybody to be attracted to me or anything like that. But it's fun to do this type of magic. Let's say that you go to a party or go to a club or anywhere, and you will find that if you compare what normally happens to what happens to you during these times when you have that working, you will find that it seems that people are looking at you more. Through body language, you'll see the people coming up and talking to you more, seem to be a little bit more interested. Uh, so I encourage you all to do that. As far as the spirits are concerned, let's see. Aphrodite. You can get all love goddesses. You can do some of the Goetic spirits, Sea Tree. If you need to look that up, Sitri. Lilith, Powerhouse. Lucifer, if you want that kind of magical masculine energy flowing through you. So there are plenty, believe me. Okay, guys and ladies, thank you for being here with me. I'm going to put the links to the description to the Etsy store in case you want to check out the cast of characters that I've been talking about. And I'll put a link to my Patreon and everything. So thank you so much again. I will see you in a future video. Bye-bye.